Now today in the battle arena, we've got MechaGodzilla going up against Burning Godzilla, Fire Godzilla. MechaGodzilla was pretty dominant in this fight in Godzilla vs. Kong, but how will it do against the most powerful version of Godzilla yet? Well, today, that's what we're going to find out. Now, before we get into the breakdown, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn notifications for more great videos like this one every single day. All good? You subscribed? Okay, now we can get into it. So in Godzilla vs. Kong, MechaGodzilla was created by a company called Apex Cybernetics because the CEO is determined to build a weapon powerful enough to challenge Godzilla's dominance. Which is actually a really interesting idea that I wish they had fleshed out more. Because, in part, it kinda makes sense. You're probably tired of giant monsters wrecking cities, even if they're trying to protect you. But on the other hand, weren't the Titans also doing good, helping to restore the Earth and stop climate change and all that? You kind of have to take the good with the bad here. But that's besides the point, because in order to do all this, or take down Godzilla, become a dominant Titan himself, well, they took the heads from King Ghidorah and used their telepathic connection to build a giant metal kaiju that can be piloted by a human. But then Ghidorah somehow took over. I don't want to get into it because I have no idea how it happened. But Ghidorah took over, and then MechaGodzilla broke out and started wreaking havoc in downtown Hong Kong. Then he went up against Godzilla and started wreaking havoc too. Then he went up against Kong, and Godzilla and Kong, all at the same time. So MechaGodzilla is obviously incredibly strong. He's able to completely overpower Godzilla, knock him down, ram him through buildings, everything. Did the same with Kong too. Now, granted, both of them were exhausted after having just fought each other almost to the death, but still, we've never seen Godzilla getting overpowered like that so quickly in a fight. Even against King Ghidorah, MechaGodzilla was completely dominant from the very beginning. Godzilla was basically just his punching bag at some points. He's also a mech, meaning he's got all sorts of weapons and gadgets too. He's got shoulder-mounted missile launchers that are capable of stunning, knocking over Godzilla. He can unleash some super-powered energy punches. Basically, think Iron Fist, but so much more destructive. And that's knocked Godzilla over too. Even his tail has a deadly drill attached to it. And then to top it all off, MechaGodzilla has its own atomic breath, which was able to slice right through a skullcrawler, match up against Godzilla's atomic breath, even overpower Godzilla's own beam. So MechaGodzilla is freaking powerful. He is something else. But then there's Godzilla. And MechaGodzilla has already fought against normal Godzilla. So I guess really, then there's Burning Godzilla, Fire Godzilla. And when he was all amped up like that, he starts melting everything around him in an instant. Do you know how hot you gotta be to melt stuff that quickly? Yeah, neither do I. That's not even actually how those buildings would melt in real life. If Godzilla was able to melt that stuff that quickly, the surrounding atmosphere itself would be on fire. Nothing about this is realistic. But also, this is a movie about two giant monsters fighting each other. This isn't supposed to be scientifically accurate. But just to throw a number out there, just to get something planted in your head, let's just say like 5,000 to 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun itself is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So Godzilla is freaking hot. He's then able to unleash these massive nuclear pulses that literally disintegrate Ghidorah. And he took 3 point-blank gravity blasts while he was doing it. Those things had been launching him around the whole movie. But now, no problem. So he burns Ghidorah, knocks Ghidorah over. and then just freaking steps right through Ghidorah's chest. God, what a savage. Alright, so MechaGodzilla and Godzilla have obviously already fought before, and MechaGodzilla was freaking dominant in that fight. Godzilla needed a Kong to save him, and even then, they needed a little bit of outside help in order to win that fight. But Burning Godzilla is an entirely different beast altogether. Not literally, but you get what I mean. And so I think the question here is actually pretty simple. Just how much more powerful is Burning Godzilla over regular Godzilla? Was Godzilla any weaker after his fight with Kong? What's the difference between those two? And how does it compare to MechaGodzilla? I might not have phrased that question in the best way just then. It might not sound simple, but that's what I'm going to try and answer here. So first off, I think it's pretty obvious that just with the way the story went, Godzilla was weaker in his fight against MechaGodzilla than he is normally. I mean, just for starters, he was probably more tired after having just fought another monster. But even beyond that, he had been knocked out just a few minutes earlier. This isn't the same as Godzilla entering a fight clean and fresh. Now, I don't know if that's enough in and of itself to justify the absolute whooping he took in that fight, but it's clear that Godzilla wasn't his normal self. So that part's out of the way. Godzilla was tired, Godzilla was weaker. But beyond that, outside of that, Burning Godzilla is just leagues and leagues above normal Godzilla. I mean, throughout that movie, Godzilla versus Ghidorah was a pretty even fight. But here, it's like Godzilla is 5-10 levels above him. Before, Ghidorah's gravity beams could do this to Godzilla. Now, they can do this. They can do nothing. Also, the more that I think about it, MechaGodzilla is basically just a giant metal monster. Godzilla was so hot that metal was just melting around him in an instant. That's not even his nuclear blasts that were disintegrating Ghidorah. Metal was melting just by being in the same vicinity. And if MechaGodzilla is made out of metal too, why can't the same thing happen to it? I mean, hang with me here. Tungsten has the highest melting point of any metal on Earth. And even then, it's melting within the range that we guesstimated Godzilla was at earlier. And that's literally just by being near him. That's not even talking about those massive pulses that he was shooting out, which were vaporizing Ghidorah, who was tough enough to be near Burning Godzilla. So yeah, wow, the more I think about this, the more I'm convinced that Burning Godzilla is going to win this fight pretty easily. He's the toughest, most powerful thing we've seen in the MonsterVerse so far. And if he was able to take out Ghidorah like it was nothing, see no reason why he can't do the same to MechaGodzilla too. So yeah, Godzilla is coming out on top here. Godzilla wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. So sign off in the comments down below. Who do you think wins this fight? MechaGodzilla or Burning Godzilla? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Sign up down below. Also, be sure that like button, subscribe button, turn on notifications from the DanCo army, and I will see y'all next time.